it's Melanie Hinds, your fastest Iraqi dinar summary on the net, where I bring you breaking news out of Iraq based on my unique intel sources that only give us intel. They're Army Rangers and they rock. They're the head of the spear over there in Iraq, and we're so grateful to them. We also have great mods on our live streams. We go live every morning around 9, except today I was really late. It's like 10:30. But it was a great live. If you want any details about these articles, I'm going to summarize. You can always go there. The timestamps are already up. I also got the link up for my Zoom members. If you're Miracle Manifestation level on my channel or above, there's only 4 levels. Miracle Manifestation is the 3rd level, the 4th level. So if you go to my you have to scroll down to see the Miracle Manifestation level. And if you see it be more than the stated price, it's just because you're really close to your monthly fee for your Miracle Manifestation. It may look more expensive than it is, and that's just because you're right there on the cusp of your it takes about 3 days where it'll be more price. Just wait a few days. But either way, you should have access tomorrow morning at 11. If you don't, just let me know. I'll work with you. I really will. I work with everybody, but don't send me a lot of emails because I just caught up with my emails, so I'm on a roll. My husband's still showering. That's the only reason why I can do this intel summary right now, because my husband allows me to do this. So they just in another breaking news. Hidden in tubs, Iraq foils Syrian border drug smuggling. They found it, guys. They got the new system is the reason for all the security instability in Iraq, and it's also the reason why they're going to revalue this eventually. I think the CBI is in control of this. What do you think? Comment down below. He goes, they keep trying and testing the systems. They have no idea. They have no idea how great these systems are. Nobody really knows how great the state-of-the-art banking systems in Iraq are. Everybody's talked about it. You may not have put it together because you haven't been associated with a channel like mine. I used to be an auditor with Pricewaterhouse, where we had to understand the big picture before we dwelled down into the details. I applied those same skills here. I was on the partner track because that was my favorite job. Then in the corporate world, I kept getting bored. They kept offering the CFO position. I kept turning it down. Why? Because I hate politics. I just am not a political animal. I always tell the truth. I give you on my channel, I apply the same methodology, truth, facts, and optimism. I'm also a lover of all things Jesus and God and spirituality. So if you're spiritual or whatever, I believe in the law of attraction because it started in God's kingdom. I also believe in the law of assumption, believing something before you see it. Faith is a mustard seed, moves a mountain. So you really want to join my tribe. We're the fastest growing channel in the Iraqi dinar, in my opinion. So Iraqi dinar solid reserves or fully backed currency. Here's an article that came after my live stream. Again, I'm always breaking the news. Iraq's dinar is solid, reserves fully back the currency. This article says Iraq's foreign currency reserves remain sufficient to fully back the national currency in circulation, the Prime Minister's financial advisor revealed on Monday. I shared those details a couple days ago, but he's sending it to me again now. The reserves are adequate to cover 3 months' worth of imports, indicating overall stability, stressing the effective external use of foreign reserves by balancing the need to maintain the dinar's external purchasing power and exchange rate stability with efficient reserves management is a core objective of Iraq's independent monetary policy. The Central Bank of Iraq reported on March 31st that net foreign reserves stood at 130.81 trillion dinars in 2024, down 10.18% from 145.64 trillion dinars in 2023. The central bank attributed the decline to rising domestic public debt used to cover the actual budget deficit. And the central bank themselves in January or February or March, we pull those articles together on my channel only, and we talk about what the central bank is doing to manage this. They said they're going to launch something imminent. They've launched other things in the meantime, which are like false flags for you in terms of this Iraqi dinar revaluation. They're going to mask the timing in this cloud of all sorts of distractions like they're doing right now. But in the meantime, if you understand the big picture and you drill down into the details, just see what I see. Like we are in the U.S. eyes deeper energy ties with the Kurdistan region, which is just one region of Iraq. Iraq is going to be united. Sunani chaired a regular meeting of the Committee for Construction and Development. Iraqi, who's the Iranian, said the third round of talks was more serious. Of course it is. And he talked about they're doing the details. Views were exchanged in writing. It said further studies are planned to be conducted in capitals before the next round of negotiations. Why? They're going to roll out this same system that's in Iraq into Syria. Mark my words. That's actually their plan, because this system is the only reason why they're secure and stable. And at the same time today, there was high-level talks. The Iraqi yesterday, a high-level Iraqi delegation holds talks with the World Bank and the IMF in Washington, D.C. What more do you need to know? They were there talking about what? All sorts of things. It's a long article, but when you read between the lines, it's announcing the new system that is making Iraq secure and stable in the midst of the chaos. They are the pinnacle of the new system that was rolled out first in Tunisia with 12 million people, then in Iraq with 46 million people and change, according to the census of last November. And then now it's in Turkey. We believe it's already in Turkey, and I think they're putting it in Syria next. Guys, it's like a franchise. It's like McDonald's is all over the world, and you know what you're going to get. You know what the menu looks like. Same thing. This system is being replicated all over the world, focusing on the Middle East first. Right? And all those nations that I've been reporting going through Iraq, they're to see the systems. And they say it as much in some of their talks if you know what to look for. On my channel, you always know what to look for. What else? We did some other, they had an article. This article was funny. Will Iraq have a 2025 budget? Finance Committee doubts it. I did a whole rant on why I don't think the budget matters when you understand how they're trying to cloud the timing. But again, you only get that here on my channel. No budget, no answers. Iraq's 2025 financial plan is still missing. Yeah, that's all distraction from what's actually happening, which is the system is the key to this reset of Iraqi currency and every other currency around the world. That we are going through a global currency reset. I've known this all along. The Holy Spirit, in Viven's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through me every day. So you should join me sometime. Also, they relaunched the article that only I covered, the Finance Committee to probe the CBI policy shifts. They changed their policy for home loans, but it's only through licensed Iraqi banks. You need to listen to my live stream if you want to know about that. That's where they officially dropped 2 zeros on their currency for those getting a loan through a licensed Iraqi bank. That was done in, I think that was done in February. So they've already floated. Yeah, February 19th. It was on my live stream, February 19th. I know it's backwards, but they floated this article again. And I went through more details today, and you can look at the timestamps for that Finance Committee to probe CBI policy shifts. That was a great article that you need to hear. That was the breaking news out of Iraq. I think this article, though, Iraq's weekly oil exports, they rise a little bit. The U.S. and Iraq are working in good company now. I think it's because I honestly think, in Iraq's dinar, solid reserves are fully backed by the currency. Guys, Iraq is ready to revalue. You either see it or you don't. That's the bottom line. But when you come to my channel, you get truth, facts, and optimism and a lot of clarity. I make complex things simple. So you should subscribe, tap the bell, and at minimum, hit the like. And I will also do shorts later that break this up. Claire says today, high-level Iraqi delegation holds talks with the World Bank and the IMF in Washington. Again, I just quoted that. It says, according to a statement from the Ministry of Finance, Finance Minister Taif Sami Mohammed, the only high-ranking woman in the government, she's the finance minister, Central Bank Governor Ali Alak and the accompanying delegation participated in the annual spring meetings of the World Bank Group and the IMF held in the U.S. Capitol. The minister and the Central Bank Governor further participated in ministerial meetings chaired by the IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, attended by the finance ministers and Central Bank of Iraq. All the heads of the World Bank, the IMF, and the Central Bank, and all the high-ranking officials of Iraq are in Washington. So what do you think about that? I'm just thinking it's a good weekend. If anything happens, stay tuned to my channel. I'll be letting you know because I'm the one who does the most content on this. I've got 8,700 videos, and I've blown away anybody else. Frank 26, Kuwait is now here in Iraq. We know their rate is around 330, so why would we be doing deals with Kuwait at a program rate of 1310? Mr. Sammy says there has to be at least bottom numbers or a range of what the rate will be for all these companies and countries here signing deals. Frank said, in his opinion, all the companies coming into Iraq have a memorandum of understanding, but not signed contracts. Yes, that's what I've been saying. Having studied business law, having been offered the CFO position, you had to know business law. It's a big indication if they're signing MOUs, it's because we have a new rate coming. And he's right, which is a bended. Yeah, so anyways, he's saying what I've been saying for months. Mark Z, articles in Iraq are saying they have completed everything for the ascension into the World Trade Organization. That's one thing I haven't been focusing on. Why? Because I think the central bank is going to release this whenever they darn well please, and you won't know it, and you'll just wake up one morning, it'll be done. Mark Z said, articles in Iraq about the WTO extension from the press in Saudi Arabia's. We've been told Iraq has definitely finished everything necessary for their WTO ascension. They have done all the workshops, etc. Now, many believe they are doing the final steps right now. It's kind of wild that we have not heard anything for a while about this. I agree with you, Mark. And now they seem to be in a mad dash to get it done. I agree. Mark Z, everybody has their own perspective on this. That's why I summarize everybody. Bruce says some of the highest rates are already in place and moving up. Dong and Dinar, they're really excellent. It's really exciting when you put all the intel together and you analyze it from a big picture perspective, a geo-economic, political perspective in line of what's going on around the world, which is what I do here, unique to everybody else. I don't just look at the dinar, I look at the whole global geo-economic policies, and I can see a different picture, which is why you should subscribe and tap the bell. Militiaman, they, Iraq, are talking about buying gold. Gold is a hedge for the central bank. They already have a lot of gold, but if they're talking about buying more, doesn't surprise me. They're advocating that gold, even at close to $3,500 in the last few days, is going to go higher. They're suggesting it's going to be $4,000 this year. And if any of these intel people, if they have a deal with a gold broker, meaning they have a gold broker on their program, then you got to believe they're getting a piece of anything you're buying. Just so you know, that's how it works. Walking stick, we know via Iraqi bank's friend Aki, in my opinion, that the lower notes are sitting pretty at the CBI to be distributed to the banks that have been selected, that are trusted and licensed, the ATMs in and out, the exchange centers, Iraqi citizens' purchasing power. I love Aki. I love a walking stick. I love their intel as well as all the other intel providers. Sandy Ingram said, we are all waiting for a payday from our RQD investment, regardless of how long it takes. I agree. We've waited this long, right? How long have you waited? I've waited 12 and a half years. Don't say how much you have, but you can say how long you've been waiting. She said, I personally have been disappointed and upset over the time it's taking for the Iraq to revalue, float, or whatever. I talked about that this morning. The Israelites were 40 years in the desert complaining. A lot of those people that complained to God that it wasn't fast enough, or they were worshiping their idols in the desert, they ended up not getting to the promised land. So I'm urging you to go back to God, get yourself in order, and thank him that you're even invested in this. You should be approaching this with thankfulness and gratitude every day, not frustration that it hasn't happened yet. That's just my perspective from the kingdom to you. Let's see. Frank 26, again, this was what he said, I think, last night. Al-Sudani's advisor, Iraqi's foreign exchange reserves are fine. When Sudani says to the Iraqi citizens, our reserves are good, it doesn't mean they don't have to raise the value of their currency. It means they can raise the value of their currency. It's just all their currency around the world is covered. Unlike some people who want you to not believe in this. Guys, don't believe in anybody who say this is never going to happen, because they just don't have the eyes to see this. So I hope you will join us where we have all the eyes to see. We have not only the eyes to see, but we have on the ground resources. I hope you will join this family. And honor to everybody that's been in this for a long time. We respect you. We honor you. I'm just glad you found us too. God bless. Bye.